Hi, well, Ham fam, welcome back to our channel. I'm Debbie.
I'm Darren. And he's the victor.
Everybody is looking at you and you are just showing them you're walking along the arm trick. Which your sister doesn't like to do, actually.
No.
Right, so we'll put this little guy in his ball so he can go and play with his siblings. Because I think he's had enough of licking me.
Yeah.
Washed by HAMster.
Yeah.
HAMster wash.
Yeah.
It'll never take on. It takes too long.
Hand wash.
Hand wash.
Hand wash with care.
Yeah, but then he'll start trying to hump your little finger. So, you know, I'm just saying. Because you're weird. Right. So, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Right, guys, so now he's out and running around with his siblings.
Yep.
We have got loads today, and I mean
Loads.
But as always, we start the day, or we start the Cwtch Corner with our word of the week.
Yay! Word of the week, word of the week, boom, boom, word of the week, word of the week, boom, boom, word of the week.
Right. So last week, it was Jiffy.
Yeah.
This week...
Oh, keeper.
Keeper. The loop on a belt that holds the end in place after it has passed through the buckle. And that's called a keeper.
Alright.
Who knew?
The person who wrote this book.
The person that wrote this book.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. You've learnt your thing of the day. Yeah. Now, it's not my fault if you didn't know that already. But there are more things coming up as usual. We are quite eclectic in our unusual things. Right. Yep. So, our first bit is last week's Sherlock. Yep. Now,
I'll give you a quick rundown of what it was. It said reports one of the coins dated back as far as 51 BC, while another is clearly marked Henry I. What do you make of that? What? And Debbie said at the time they're fake. But why are they fake? What did you say? Why they're fake?
I can't remember what I said why they were fake, but I do know from just you reading that bit then, you don't generally get a coin that says the first king, if you know what I mean.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether if they did coins beforehand, but they still don't write the first. So that's one of the reasons anyway.
Henry I would just be Henry. Got Pink Poodle. She's got I think they're fakes because the Romans didn't come to the UK until 55 BC. Oh, unfortunately not. And because of the bit on it, 55 BC is actually before 51 BC because it runs backwards. It runs up to 0. It runs up to 1 BC and then it starts at 1.
It's confusing, yeah, but it's confusing. I can see where she's coming from on that. BC
was supposed to be done before Christ, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was. The time only existed afterwards because they run backwards afterwards.
Yeah, I don't. If you don't understand in Pink Poodle, I don't particularly, but I sort of get what he means.
Angela's got coins are fake. They wouldn't be dated 51 BC. They would have a different date, or no BC. That's right. They wouldn't. They would have had a different date because the calendar was different then.
That's right.
Anyway, but yeah, so they wouldn't have been BC because BC runs backwards from it. And nor would it say Henry I, it would just say Henry. That's right, because you don't have the first because they are the only one.
But in their defence, I didn't even notice the BC bit on it. I was too concerned about the whatever it was to do with the king anyway, and probably was the first thing that I remembered, but forgotten because I just wrote their fake under my answer.
Yeah. Like they'll be shouting it out. We've got to be. They're fake.
Right, so
Right.
this week's Sherlock.
This week's Sherlock, right. The Cwtch bank job.
Ooh.
I have a little puzzle that ought to appeal to you, Watson. I allowed that it was a distinct possibility and encouraged Sherlock Holmes to go ahead. A couple of fellows who are familiar to me were last month discussing the best way to break into a particular bank in Shoreditch. I know for a fact that they even enticed a local constable into entering their discussions and clearing up some of their uncertainties for them. He was fully aware of what they were about. The bank, of course, had absolutely no idea, and so far as I know, still has no clue regarding their identities. Last week their plans bore fruit and brought them a substantial sum of money. They duly gave a modest percentage of it to the constable who had been so helpful. My word, have you informed the authorities? I have not, my friend. None of the conspirators has done anything the least bit wrong. Can you deduce what Holmes was talking about?
In fact, I'm completely unsure on that one, to be honest.
Yep.
Right. So, last week's riddle.
Last week's riddle. Did you get last week's riddle?
I put feather, I think. Or, yeah, feather, I think I put. I'm not entirely sure why.
I can't remember what it was now. Right, the one for last week was, until I am measured, I am not known. Yet how you miss me when I have flown. What am I?
Well, I put feather for whatever reason.
You put feather. Pink Poodle and Angela both got it right.
Oh, unless it's a sneeze.
No, it's time.
Ah. Might have been a sneeze.
They both got it right.
Well done. Right, so this week's
one.
riddle.
Yep. It's a classic. This week's one is. Right. I get wetter the more that I dry. What am I?
I know that one.
Yeah. It's a classic.
It is. Right. Now then, my favourite bit. Caption time. So what was the caption of last week?
Caption of last week was this.
And quite simply, when I found it, I decided straight away there is only one caption for that, which is handbag. And I'm thinking that everybody else has put the same thing.
Only actually had Pink Poodle do.
Pink Poodle did handbag.
Do them. She had two captions.
Oh, right.
She did handbag.
Yay!
The must-have in the latest fashion trend. Anyway, also, why did my agent got this wrong? It's supposed to be cat out of the bag, not hamster. I think I need to fire him.
That covers the quizzical look of him as well.
Yeah.
Right. This week's caption is... So cute. So cute. I have actually already written down my caption of it because obviously I've got them in my pictures that I take off the computers and when they come up. Right, so that leads us to let's say we will put in my puzzle. Now the fishy business one I completed so far and got completely fed up with it. It was
all the parts look exactly the same.
And I just thought, do you know what? I don't know why I'm doing this. So we sort of stopped it there. So I won't show you that. But it was a whole thing of being a giant fish and scaring them into oil. It wasn't a very good one. Now the one that I did next was...
What If? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was the very first What If one. It's one of my favourite puzzles. That's nice to put together. and it's If Money Grows on Trees.
Yeah.
So here's the box picture of what you see. And then this is the picture of the completed puzzle is in What If Money Grew on Trees, and this is the picture of that. Right. I love those. Now then, this week we have posted a cult box.
Lots and
talismans.
Yep, the final box, that one.
That's the final one at the moment. We don't know if she's going to bring them back or not.
That held 3 of them, they did.
And it was a good box. Click Rates June.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Hollow, which was the Season of the Witch quarterly one. It's the third one she's done. Also, as a side note, which I wouldn't normally put in this section, but as we've got lots for the others, she has got more items that she's made up for sale.
Yeah.
Cures and Curses, we had the final box, which was the Japanese special one. Has he got back to us about that? No.
No, we will be doing a giveaway on it.
Because he sent us 2 for some unknown reason.
He sent us 2 for some reason. When I've got the bit sorted out a bit more, because I've got quite a few left to edit. So when we do that, we'll set out a bit of when we'll do a giveaway bit on it.
Yeah, there's a couple of bits I've taken out.
Because he's read it. He's read the message.
Yeah.
Because I sent him on Instagram and it said that he's seen it. But
we haven't heard anything about the egg either. So I think he's literally just lost interest now, or he's given up on it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because it would be nice if they kept the customer service up right through.
Yeah. But there you go.
But that's just as it is.
Yeah.
Lego 3 Broomsticks was the Witchcraft Wednesday one.
Yeah.
And then we had the House of Night Oracle cards. So stunning. So many of you wrote in to say what your favourite cards were. And most of you, like me, was the Black Cat and the Moon.
Yeah. And people also said what their favourite tarot sets were as well.
We will go back to the tarot sets afterwards in the peep section.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit more involved.
In the peep section.
That's right. Right, we've got more filmed wise that we've got ready to go. We've got more hauls that look amazing, I might add. The range seriously
including a Halloween, a short Halloween haul from the range as well.
And
they'd even put the prices out when we bought them from there.
We've done 2 hauls from them, or filmed 2 hauls from them. One was an online one. One was one where Darren actually went round the shop with me on video cam, which was amazing, because it was like I was actually out for the day.
It's like having a personal shopper.
Yeah, it was, but you get to choose the bits, and it was good because, like with beads and things like that, you can tell I can tell against his hands how big certain bits are and things like that.
Yeah.
And I have currently got my basket full of a few other things I would like to pick up, so we shall see. To do, we've got the Wrestle Crate.
Yeah, Wrestle Crate UK.
And
the
Box of Goth, which was
Box of Goth did a
£20.
20 items for £20.
So we've got that to do, which I'm really looking forward to. And we've also got more hauls on top that we haven't filmed yet. We've still got scented
ones we haven't finished yet.
Ones which keep getting put aside because different bits come up.
Oh, so many to do.
I say, I know we haven't had, in case any of you have noticed, we haven't had the Witch Casket one yet because we haven't received the box. So we're waiting today to find out whether or not anything's been delivered, and then Darren's going to have to contact Debs and Ella and say, unfortunately, we haven't received it yet. So it's a bit of a mess, that one.
We've got 9 videos waiting to be edited. Well, so the idea is there'll also be plans on Saturday and Sunday as well.
Yeah.
This week. There's a because we've got a lot to catch up with. So
plus, we want to show you the Halloween stuff as well before it goes out of stock.
Yeah.
And again, I will make sure that my secondary bit is in before that, so I don't lose out on stock by advertising them.
Yeah.
Also, what you see online and what you get in store are completely different.
Some of it's
the same, but what I mean is that if just because something's sold off online, it doesn't mean there's not loads of them in the shop.
Yeah.
As we found out. Right, TV this week. We finished. Well, I finished Angel.
Yep.
God, that last episode.
Yeah. It's a bit. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's a bit like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They've got these insurmountable odds, and it's just them there, and they go, right, let's go, and then that's it. Because he says, well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go for the dragon.
I mean,
I would say spoiler alert, but let's face it, it finished about 20 odd years ago. So
right. Also, our favourite ever Buffy episode was Once More with Feeling.
Yep.
Although I must admit, I also loved the very last episode where all the Slayers become Slayers and Spike saves everybody, and then they go off, and it means they're travelling around the world. I mean, basically, they could have done a majorly amazing spin-off.
Yeah, but they did it as a comic book instead, didn't they?
Yeah.
I believe they're on season 10 or 11 on comic book, may even be further.
Mm. My favourite Angel episode, without a doubt, is Smile Time.
Yay.
How much do I want one of those puppets? Oh my goodness. If
how much do you want one? They cost you about 200 quid.
Yeah, I know. I haven't got £200 to throw against.
Which ironically is actually less than what they cost to start off with.
No, but that's not unusual. Because there were so many made and that's it.
Mm.
But honestly, I really, really loved Doyle in the first one. First season, and unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah, but he didn't pass away then. They killed his character off anyway.
Yeah, they killed his character off, and he subsequently then passed away the following year, I think it was. Was it, or 5 years?
No, I don't know. I think they put the bit in the 5th year, I think.
All right.
They put a bit to him.
Terrible shame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he had problems with substance abuse issues, even when he was filming stuff in Angel.
Such a shame, such a waste.
Mm.
Right, back onto the positives.
Yeah.
I've also started watching some more Vampire Diaries until I sort of wanted to hang myself, so I've come away from them again at the moment. Sorry, I don't mean to be fleetingly, but it's just, you know where you get to the stage and you think, why am I watching this? And it's not that it's bad, it's just for some reason I get so far in it. It's the same with Charmed. I love Charmed. You get so far in it and it's just really difficult to keep watching. Yeah,
we've only got to get to the end of this season, then you got bits to change anyway.
We also watched the first ever new CSI one, which wasn't bad. It was okay.
Bad, yeah. Didn't enjoy
it
as much as the original ones.
No,
but
so therefore we went on to watching
the original ones.
Some of the original ones, which we're sort of were bouncing in between because I quite like them in the evening. Although yesterday I had a real fancying for watching the Batman films, so we watched 3 of those.
We watched Batman Returns, and Batman Forever. And tonight we got Bat Nipples. Batman and Robin. If you don't know about it, Batman and Robin on their suits, they've got nipples on it, and so's Batgirl as well.
They're not just nipples; they're pointed nipples.
Yeah, so pointed nipples.
So it was obviously the episode where they were really cold, which is brilliant when you consider Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze is in it, yeah.
So it sort of makes sense, really, if you think about it. Right, weird and wonderful this week, people. Oh, have I got some for you? Right, so let's just bring up my phone so I know what I'm talking about.
What you talking about?
Right. Oh, that's right. Right, hang on. I'm going to unplug that for a minute because it's getting on my nerves. Better. Thank you.
Right.
Right, so first off, for our starter,
Yep.
is Yoga Cat. Right, and now we have got, for your pleasure, the Chinese peacock butterfly. Pretty, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That is lovely. I wasn't sure if it was weird enough, but I just decided it was pretty enough, so you know, we'll go with it.
Looks like paint running.
Yes, it does a bit.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got a wow bookshelf for you.
A wow bookshelf.
A bookshelf in the Abbey of Waldenessen in Bavaria, Germany. This library was built in the Rococo architectural style in 1824 to 26. Now, they didn't have any of the mod doodahs to do anything, so that was all hand carved.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's good. That's nice.
I don't know what you guys think, but, I mean, he looks so happy as well.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's living life to his best life possible, is what they say. Right, now then. I had to shove this one in, because I really would love to see one. If we had a garden, I'd so love these in the garden. It's a violet-backed starling. Which is endemic to sub-Saharan Africa.
All right.
So you're not going to get it in
you
your
won't
garden.
get around here anyway, no.
But seriously,
here we go.
how beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see when the feathers move. It's
so it's going to change, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Right, now then, I had to do this week's chicken. Because I keep finding chickens. Now, this one reminds me of somebody off of Coronation Street. Now, I've never watched Coronation Street, but I have seen bits of people in it. And I'm pretty sure that one of them had a similar hairstyle to that.
Yeah.
So, if you know who I'm talking about, please tell me.
I don't know, but a couple of my aunties had permed hair like that.
I did also, yeah, I was going to say that, Darren, but you know.
My aunties had permed hair like that, yeah.
But I mean, that's a buffon and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't tell you what type, because unfortunately the picture bit didn't have it on there and I can't remember.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, either way, that's one hell of a head of fluff.
It is.
Right. Right, now then, got a new category this week that I'm bringing in, which is a cake category. I'll say, fancy a slice of this? It's obviously Hocus Pocus. I mean, I mean, for one thing, even if you don't know Hocus Pocus, it does.
It's got Hocus Pocus written on it, yeah.
But it's blooming great, and that cat is amazing.
Yeah. And if you've got Disney Plus, which we haven't, the new one's coming out soon, or coming out October.
I'm going to have to remind myself of the old one
first. The trailer looks quite good. I saw the trailer for it. They're back.
Right, so... Right, Fabulous Flowers. Now this, I've outdone myself this week. Saying it like I've grown them and they're a subspecies of Debbie. But no, they're not. They're actually... Well, you have a look. They're hollyhock dolls.
This is why fairy tales exist.
I mean, it's stunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Nature is an incredible thing. It really does put you... Now then, this week, I didn't have a tree picture, but I thought instead of the tree picture, I found a lovely fact about Brian May.
Oh, yeah.
Not many people know. In 2012, Brian bought 121 acres of land that was about to be developed into buildings and planted trees with the help of volunteers and restored it to woodland. It's called May's Wood and has over 100,000 trees thriving there.
Yeah.
I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, this is before.
If you don't know, Brian May is the guitarist for Queen. Just in case. People may not necessarily know if they're younger or bits like that. Yeah,
I'd be startled if you hadn't heard of Queen before, especially in our age bracket.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just
Dr.
think
Brian
what an incredible thing to do. I know Morgan Freeman did something similar. He actually bought a large area of land, and he basically turned it into something that bees could thrive on. He had beehives installed there, and he also planted loads of pollen flowers sort of thing to improve. I mean, it just goes to show that these people that have got a lot of money, they go and do things, and they'll do things, and it isn't something that they go and shout about. This is usually little bits that I find, buried in information, that usually it's somebody that's actually taken part in helping with it that's come forward. So they don't do it for publicity, they do it because they want to make the world a better place, and I truly believe that. Obviously, you get some people that will do things for their own benefit, but I don't believe these two do.
No.
Right, so now we're on to, it's a cross between fan news, chats, and me shocking Darren. Oh, did I miss one of them? No, that's under chats. That's under weird chats, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's more involved, really. Brian May's bit should have been as well, but there you go. I can't be expected to remember everything.
I can't be expected to remember anything.
Right, so now I need to go into my one. Now, I had a thing come up on Facebook, and it was 100 medical treatments or what have you that used to be and what it was replaced with. Now, unfortunately, I didn't save the page, but fortunately, I did screenshot a hell of a lot of them. There were a few I told Darren when I was going through it, but the ones I'd screenshotted, I hadn't actually told Darren about. So I thought, I'll tell you on here now, because you don't need to see pictures of it.
Yeah.
Right. Radioactive water. What it was radioactive water tincture, and what it treated was low energy.
All right.
What replaced it is caffeine.
All right.
Little bit strange. So it's like, okay. Oh, these get weirder. Right. Ingest bodies for illness. I mean, of course you would, wouldn't you?
Ingest bodies?
Right. What it was, powdered corpse. What it treated, bruises, cuts, and epilepsy. Because all of those things are very similar.
Yeah.
What replaced it? Stitches, icing, etc.
Yeah, different things replaced them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously don't mean icing as in on a cake. It's putting ice onto things. That would have been like bruises. Yeah,
and swellings.
I know they used to put butter on burns.
Yeah, I know. Christ, that's why they did that.
Well, it caused a reaction, didn't it? And
well, you're putting fat onto something that's burning already.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I've got a bruise, Mum. Have some powdered corpse.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll do you 3 a week, you see.
Yeah.
Right, this is my favourite one ever, actually.
Yeah.
Kellogg's cornflakes for a sin-free life. This is legitimate treatments, okay?
For a sin-free life.
What it was is a cereal designed for abstinence. What it treated, desire.
Yeah.
What replaced it, sanity. So when you fancy your ice cold milk on top of cornflakes at night, whether it be, I don't know, nut juice or whatever else you use on it.
Yeah. If you're using nut juice on it, it's probably like,
I mean,
they call it almond milk because people wouldn't drink nut juice.
Yeah, I know, but I just think nut juice is funnier.
It is,
I'm not actually saying
especially
it could
with
be very
abstinence,
nice, to be fair.
But yeah,
I mean, is this why so many people have bowls of cereal at night?
Yeah.
You know, you really fancy that ice cold milk on some frosted flakes or some Kellogg's cornflakes. Actually, I'm not a lover of cornflakes.
It's very salty and quite plain, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not quite sure. All I can think is that if he had a nice cold bowl of, or a nice bowl of cereal late at night...
Didn't say any milk on it, darling.
No.
It just said cornflakes. All
right then, but either way, if he had a nice bowl of cereal, whether it be with any sort of liquid, I mean, do you think it was yet too much so he didn't feel like it?
Mm.
Or you didn't want to bounce around because it would stir up the milk or food in your tummy. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that it could be related to. But yeah, I loved that one. I really did love that one. I thought that was the greatest one ever. So if you're not in the mood, feed your partner some cornflakes before you go to bed. Right. So we have now got a lovely, lovely, lovely story that Darren found. It's the penguin story.
Ah, penguins. Right, because when we were watching Batman Returns. I went onto IMDb to look up, because I was looking up to see if it said on it whether Michelle Pfeiffer had to learn to be able to run and walk in the hills, because the hills were quite.
She is one of my favourite women.
But she didn't on that. But apparently she was vacuumed into it, and she had to. She had to have. She could only do short scenes in it because it'd make her pass out.
Like a corset in the Victorian days did.
So it was that tight. But that's not the bit.
Obviously
when I was looking on
she's
it,
not a penguin.
I found this bit. I said production wanted to use king penguins, but the only tame ones in captivity were at a bird sanctuary in the Cotswolds, deep in the English countryside. So the birds were flown over to the States in the refrigerated hold of a plane. They were given their own refrigerated trailer and swimming pool with half a ton of ice delivered every day, and had fresh fish delivered daily straight from the docks. Even though the temperature outside frequently topped 100 degrees, the entire set was refrigerated down to 35, which is for the English sort of bit was about 1.5 degrees centigrade. Which is, the birds also had a round-the-clock bodyguard. The birds clearly enjoyed the experience, as following their stint in Hollywood, most of them had mated and produced eggs, the sure sign of a contented penguin.
I mean, it's true. If they weren't content, they won't breed because they wouldn't feel safe enough to.
Yeah. And there was a bit straight under that. It said, in an interview for television, Stan Winston told a little anecdote about how his crew were collecting the mechanical penguins after a day's shoot, and found one of the live penguins snuggled up asleep next to a mechanical one.
It's so cute. No, we're not saying we agree that they should have been flown over and that. And
no, but they should have filmed it in. Nowadays, they would have filmed it in the UK. Those bits, wouldn't they?
But
that
being said,
it was late 80s. So
that's right. But even back then, they made sure that the animals' welfare. I mean, they didn't clock on that it probably wasn't a good idea to travel them, but what they did do was make sure that everything was set up for them to be as comfortable as possible.
They even had a round-the-clock bodyguards.
I mean, the penguins weren't upset by Danny DeVito. However, the monkey was.
Yes,
the monkey was terrified of Danny DeVito.
At the end of it, the monkey passes him a note, and you only see the monkey hand it out, and you see his hand come out, his clawed hand come out and take the note. Because apparently when he had the makeup on, the monkey was scared to death of him and wouldn't go anywhere near him. And one bit, what he did get close enough, he attacked his groin. But fortunately enough, he had a lot of padding on it, so he didn't actually feel any effects from that. But the majority of the bit, the penguin wouldn't go anywhere near it. The monkey wouldn't go anywhere near him. So he went there with no makeup on.
Which is why you didn't see
him.
Body and face,
so all he had was the hand bit on, so he could take the note from the monkey.
I mean, it's funny how their minds work on bits and things like that. It's, but as I said, you can't attack people for things they did in the past because the knowledge base wasn't there.
No, so things are different.
As
I said, nowadays if they were doing it, they would have filmed those bits over here.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this is the mistake a lot of people do, is that they will vilify people for acting certain ways that were perfectly acceptable back then.
Yeah.
Now, if they acted in certain ways now, and then you've got that other bit where certain countries want to hide their history, if it's negative towards them.
Yeah.
By sweeping what happened in history under the carpet, you don't learn.
No, if you ignore history, you risk repeating it.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, not only that, I mean, the whole point of history is it does teach us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am a bit of a,
Yeah. But yeah.
No, so please no negativity about the penguins. We are aware that it is not something. It's not something that needs to. We've explained the process and so on. Although I'm sure you lovely people won't anyway. Right. Also, Darren found a great story on zombies. Yeah.
Well, there's two bit. It's this one I found first.
He'll show you the picture on this.
Which was a bit of a grave from the Victorian age, when a fear of zombies and vampires was prevalent. The cage was intended to trap the undead, just in case the corpse reanimated. Now it's a nice story, but it isn't.
Well, no, it's a nice story that it's more fantastical.
Yeah.
However, that isn't actually
the actual
case.
The actual bit of what they was still quite bad.
It's still dark.
Yeah. What they were, I'll show you a picture on here. Right. They were iron mortises. Were placed over the graves to prevent grave robbers from digging up the bodies, for sale to the anatomy classes in medical schools, and other measures were taken in the 18th and 19th centuries to prevent this repulsive trade, which continued until the Anatomy Act was passed in 1832.
Unless, of course, you've got a cut, bruise, or epilepsy, in which case corpses were necessary to grind down.
But that would have only been for for medical ones. That would have been because you had.
Can you imagine donating your body to science and it being inhaled?
There was a film on them. Buck and Hare. Buck and Hare were two famous grave robbers.
Yeah.
And because people used to like rob graves, and then they'd dig up the bodies, and then they would take them along to medical places who would buy that off them.
Yeah, yeah. As I say, it wasn't an unheard of practice, to be fair. Right, now this leads. Now it leads us to fans' questions and more so it's fan news, fan questions.
Yeah.
Things from you guys.
Yeah. Right.
So what's first this week?
Well, fans questions. We've got both Pink Poodle and Angela have asked us, are we looking forward to House of the Dragons?
Yes, very much so, but not
House
as much as I'm
Targaryen.
looking forward to the Jon Snow one that's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, but they still haven't started filming that yet.
They haven't started filming that yet, but I mean, he's lovely to look at.
Yeah, but yes,
I'm hoping they do an Aya one as well.
Yeah.
And Sansa. In actual fact, they could do an outcrop of most of them.
But yeah, so I say I'm gonna give it a look. It should hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. Always slightly nervous about prequels because they can go one of two ways, and it's usually.
It went. Well, let's face it, Game of Thrones went well until they ran out of books.
No, I liked how. I'm not going to say how, but in case it's spoiling it for you guys. But
no, when they ran out of books in Game of Thrones, it started to go a bit.
It was the last. It was the last bit. Cersei not getting her comeuppance, that annoyed me.
Yeah.
And Jaime going back on himself.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do a loop of learning.
Yeah.
And then go.
Well, his character arc went from there to there, and then all of a sudden he just gave it up and went back.
I mean, it ended beautifully, and
he'd had a redemption arc. He'd gone through the redemption bit and found love, and he gave it all up. And it was like, what?
But no, I think it. From a point of view, if you were actually living it would have been better, really, had Khal Drogo not died and him and Daenerys had carried on and. But then saying that, you see.
But the things wouldn't have gone on.
No.
Her story would have finished there because she wasn't strong enough to go against Khal Drogo.
But. I mean,
she wasn't.
For the most part, I absolutely love Game of Thrones. It's one that I will watch again, probably more as the winter comes in. I absolutely love it. I do. I think it's great. But because it's so up, I'm slightly concerned. I mean, to be honest, with the Jon Snow one, what would be really nice is if it would had a twin sister, and they could bring Rose back. His actual wife in real life, beautiful young lady.
You can't bring her back, she's dead.
No, but if Ygritte had a sister or a twin sister, something like that, it would actually be doable. And because, I mean, I'm really excited for that. I am so excited for that. I mean, one of the pictures that you sometimes see me on, I think it's the Witchcraft one, it was me sat with one of the wolves from Vikings.
Yes.
But they also did have the wolves
They did Game of Thrones.
But they didn't have any there with them.
No, because most of them passed on, hadn't they?
They had, yeah, but no, I mean, I never thought I'd get to stroke and sit with a wolf. I mean, admittedly, I was in a wheelchair. Yeah. But he was so good. But no, I mean, things like that, I just think utterly amazing.
Yeah.
No, so what's the next?
Right. I
can't believe they both asked the same thing, though.
Yeah.
How in tune are we?
We should go on to Angela's one. She said, if you're pained, have you tried malachite or hematite for it?
Haven't tried malachite. Hematite, yes. My basic problem is because I don't go out, I don't think of putting bracelets on.
Yeah.
But I have got hematite and I believe malachite on the altar.
Malachite is a bowl we've got.
That's right, yeah.
Well, a sphere. We've got a malachite.
Since having the altar,
you've got a hematite bracelet, and we've got hematite in one of the cupboards as well.
Yeah.
Because they're all attached to each other in a block because they're really magnetic, those ones are.
Honestly, yes, it does help. But what has helped most with my pain levels, to be perfectly honest, is the altar. Since I've set that up and I go for what feels right to me, I've done some casting on it. I clear the energy every so often, and it's been incredibly helpful for my pain and my mental health. I find it calms me, something chronic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. Now, Pink Poodle's got a few.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Right. What we got? First, I just want to ask, we don't watch Stranger Things. We sort of like that sort of program.
We've seen the first 2.
We watched the first 2. It was all right.
I mean, we won the duck from Gem Boutique, and we absolutely loved that.
We were sort of watching it just to sort of see what was going on, what was happening. It was all right, but it wasn't. It didn't grip.
It didn't grip us the way I would like it to, if that makes sense.
So we haven't watched the 3rd and 4th season at all.
I'm not saying that we won't. I'm just saying we're not in a rush to do so. We've got. I mean, admittedly, because I do a lot of puzzles and crafting and things like that.
Yeah.
I tend to put things on that I know quite well, so I can sort of pay half attention. I've also, for the first time, actually, whilst doing some craft bits, I listened to the audiobook of The Cursed Child. I have read it once before, but my memory is appalling. And considering I have read the Harry Potter books numerous times, the fact I've only read it once before, I haven't finished my House of Night book that I was on yet, because I'm wanting to do things. It's making me feel good to do things at the moment, so I go in blocks of stages. But yeah.
Right. She also asked the month after as well. You got the Lord of the Rings prequel to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Might give it a look.
This is where
I've watched Lord of the Rings. I've never watched The Hobbit because I've read the book The Hobbit, but I just couldn't be bothered with it because they extended it out a hell of a lot. It's not that big a book.
You know how much I love fantasy films and books, and I will hold my hand up and say I have seen the first film. That is it. Because I went with my partner at the time. So this is how long ago it was, because we've been married, crikey's know how long, and he died when we were 23. So, you know, I mean, it was before then. Yeah. So, yeah, nobody told me it was only actually part.
The first part.
And
because it just sort of finished.
I was getting into it, and then it just sort of finished. And it sort of left me with a sort of letdown bit. If I'd have known beforehand, it would have been fine. I have watched the first film a couple of times, and I am determined.
No, you watched it. You watched the first half.
The first half of the first film.
Now we've got it on Blu-ray with all three of the films on Blu-ray. But up until before, I only had the extended versions, and the extended versions are 2 discs per film. So Debbie had watched the first disc, and it was still because if they're 4 hours long.
I will.
The extended versions are.
Sorry, I'm having to put my fan on because it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
I am still determined to see Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But I know it sounds ridiculous, but it means I can only do it if I'm just either looming, or, you know, I mean, it's like I started looming while I was doing bits yesterday, because I needed a break from the puzzle, and I'm working on a summer blanket for Mishka.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'll probably give it a go. It's very strange because they've already given the season 2 a go ahead.
Yes, they have.
Now, okay, granted, the first episode will get a hell of a lot of people watching it. You'll get millions and millions of people watching it.
Yeah.
Watching the first one because it is the first one and everyone wants to see it. Whether it keep people's interest all the way through is another matter. So it's strange to actually greenlight the second season when no one's seen the first one yet. But But yeah, we'll probably see at least the first one.
Oh, I've got a couple of bits actually before I forget to show you that I got hold of. I got some pony beads from Tesco's for $1.25.
Yeah.
Darren picked these up for me. They're two little wooden wabbits or hares for 25p.
Yeah.
And a selection of wooden owl embellishments for 50p.
Yeah.
So I've shown you them now, which means it can go in my range bag.
Right.
Right, so any more questions?
Right. Yeah, she keeps going.
That's good.
She's going to be watching season 2 of Clark and Lois. We haven't seen any Clark and Lois.
No, I don't.
She loves Superman.
I like the Superman.
I love Superman ones. Clark and Lois. Biggest problem we've got with that is Debbie doesn't like the woman who plays Lois. She was in Grimm.
No, I love Grimm.
Yeah,
but she annoys me. Like her. She gets on my nerves.
We said love Superman, but I never understood how the pair of glasses stops you from looking at Superman. Well, believe it or not, it actually did. Because they were in, I believe they were in New York filming it. When they went on a break, it's like that. He went on a break as he was dressed.
Yeah.
When he went in there as Superman, he had people round him, people all wanted autographs and bits like that all the time. Crowds of people. When he went in there as Clark Kent, one of the brave Clark Kent, absolutely no one paid any attention to him at all.
Mind you, I wonder if, somebody in tights is going to draw more attention anyway, aren't they?
But yeah, so it did actually affect it.
Yeah.
It did, you know what I mean?
But then again, I suppose if you see a bloke wearing glasses at the bar that sort of looks like Christopher Reeves, you're not necessarily going to think it is. You're going to just think, if anything, that he looks a bit like him, or...
Well, he wasn't that big a name anyway, was he?
No, he
really,
wasn't,
not in the first ones.
Yeah.
I mean, what else we got? Finished watching Miss Marvel on Disney Plus.
Haven't seen them.
I haven't seen Miss Marvel. We haven't got Disney Plus anymore. So I've seen the comic books of the graphic novels of Miss Marvel.
What ones are they? What are they about?
Miss Marvel. She's the first Muslim superhero.
Oh right.
She's a young girl. In the comic books, she has stretching abilities, like Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four.
Oh right, okay.
Reed Richards. But they've changed her abilities now in this. I'm guessing because they're going to be bringing in the Fantastic Four.
Ah, okay.
Into the MCU. So they've changed what her abilities are.
With superhero bits, we do tend to bounce around different themes. It's like I'll go through a stage of watching all period dramas or detectives, or because there's quite a lot of genres I actually like. I sort of bounce around. It's like I did Buffy, Angel, then I was going to go on to True Calling, and I would recommend that to anyone. It's actually Faith from Buffy, you know.
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And say it'd probably be simpler if you look up what it's about, but honestly, it's blooming good.
Right.
She has to work out things, basically.
Yeah. Got She-Hulk coming in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I've seen the trailer for it. It looks all right, I suppose. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a great. It's a weird one, but quite often it's the same if men are well muscled, and if you can see all the little dents and things like that, it gives me the collywobbles.
Well, it's only created because she's not that big before she changes.
All right. I don't know. I just
children loved Buffy, and their favourite episode was Once More with Feeling, and her daughter knows every single word to all the songs. Yeah, we had several played at our wedding. Yeah,
our second song, because my brother always did your song.
Elton John's.
It was in Moulin Rouge, and it's a beautiful
short
song,
song, yeah.
and that's the first dance we had.
Yeah.
Because I wanted my brother to be the one that sang for my first dance.
Yeah.
The group we had there did once more with feeling for our
different ones.
third
Different
dance
ones,
sort of thing.
So that it wasn't much.
No, it wasn't our third dance.
Under Your Spell.
Under Your Spell, that's right.
Which is the
to be honest,
Willow and Tara.
Yeah, it's our favourite song in the Buffy. I love most of the music. Well, I love all the music in the Buffy musical version, which Once More with Feeling.
Yeah.
But the Tara and Willow song is our favourite.
Even the bit they cut out on the TV bit, was on the music bit, which is the little bit where she gets, she's talking to the
hard day, and
she's talking to the traffic warden. They say, "I swear that hydrant wasn't there. Hey, I'm not wearing underwear."
And that's the bit that was
and I'm not wearing underwear was faded out on the TV.
But and we got the mustard out creases me up.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, well done, because getting mustard out of clothes not easy.
Yeah. Is that all of them? No. Last bit she asked was, where do you sell the things you don't want to keep?
We aren't yet.
Right. At the moment, we're not doing it at the moment.
We are going to be.
We were selling them at market stalls bits.
Well, you were.
I was, yeah.
I don't get out.
But I'm in the process of reopening our eBay shop.
We will let you know.
I've got a lot of photos to go through to put different ones, and obviously when the computer's editing through, going through the edits, I can't use it for anything else, so I can't adjust the photographs. So it's taking a while because I've got several hundred photographs to go through.
I know, you might have to start using my laptop as well, I think.
So I've got several hundred photographs to go through, because looking at, there's going to be around about 250 items on there. But yeah, it will be on there. It'll be under our name, which we had, which was Flight of the Dragons.
Which was our original name.
But I will give you, once I've actually got it done and it's up there, I'll actually give you the direct website bit to it, because it's got a direct website going to it.
See, I mean, the biggest thing is we've got so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's getting round to everything, and with the hot weather, and then the boiler sort of coming into the equation as well, we've sort of had a month where we've been stuck with how to do bits, really.
Yes. Yeah, and the boiler is now fixed, but I've still got to put some stuff back into the
the bit.
Because if you look there, you'll see all the puzzles over there.
That's was jigs.
There you go. They're all the way over there, on top of the table that we use. When I said
I have a lot of watch jigs, I wasn't exaggerating. What we're doing is I am doing ones that I want to do. Some of the ones that I have done that I didn't particularly enjoy doing.
Yeah.
We're going to sell, because we know they're complete. We're only going to sell complete ones, and the ones that are missing one or two pieces go down to the charity shop, because at the end of the day, if you're paying 50p, and you can still have fun with the puzzle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's missing any more than 2 pieces, 3 pieces, then you know, it isn't much use for anything. Might think of something to do with them craft wise, I suppose, but who knows. So yeah, it's and
that's all the questions on that.
I thought you had something about House of Night, or is that not?
Oh yeah. Oh, but it's not there.
Oh right, okay. Right, what have we got now?
Right, we've got new commenters, or people we haven't mentioned in the comments before.
Yes, shout outs to the newbies as well as the oldies.
Right.
Got a slight concern because we haven't from Leanne for a bit. So if you are around Leanne and you're still, can you just send us a wave or something just to know that you're okay? We got our Star Wars, which is our lovely pink poodle, and of course Lolly Wayne
and Angela.
And Angela, of course. Yes.
This one I've been on a few times. Debbie Wyatt, but we never said hello to her before.
No, so hello, Debbie.
Yeah. Got newer ones. We've got Huffleland.
I love it.
Who does he's a Hufflepuff. He does different Harry Potter videos.
Oh, I have to have a look.
It's like that. We had Jekyll and Hyde Club.
Hey.
No, they do different. Looks like she actually does different gothic-y sorts of halls.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yep, Elizabeth Stone. We've had lots of bits.
Yeah, we adore Elizabeth. She's such a sweetheart. We'll get down to her in a minute. Okay, we'll go down to Elizabeth in a minute.
Right. And we've got Curly 6606 Happy.
I love that. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. So we got
Sorry, I'm looming at you.
Got Elizabeth Stone, who's trying to she's trying to sort out. She wants to do a YouTube channel as well, and she's trying to work out what she wants to do. And she's another one. She suffers from anxiety and
it's a good way of getting comfortable.
She's got pain and problems as well.
Yeah,
it's a young lady from America.
It's always it's the same.
But it's frightening to start off with doing it. It is, and you feel like a right brat. You really do, yeah. Because let's face it, you're sitting here, looking, talking to a camera or talking to a phone. Like this. Yeah, you feel like an idiot.
But to be fair,
you do get used to it.
This is where, especially when we get interaction from you guys, you start imagining almost that, you're sitting around on your own or with your partners in your place, and we're essentially having a nice chat.
Yeah.
So it does help, which is why, we want to say hello. If you want anything like promoted and bits like that, we will happily do so, because at the end of the day, it's a bit like I said to Darren, when we used to do the markets, you almost feel like a family, because stallholders, they'll help each other out. You get that sort of camaraderie. It's really nice, and at the same time you get quite a good rapport with like the fair people and things like that. So you do, it's quite a nice way of, again, getting a group of people together that just get each other.
Yeah.
So this is sort of what that is like.
Yeah. And I've got plans for a bit coming up for a group of people.
A group of our mad people.
Group of people to do something together. There's a bit to like spread out everyone's bits and stuff like that, and get more viewing bits across the board and everything.
Yeah.
I've got to finalise the bits for it, and we're doing everything else. The bits for it, and then contact people and see if they're interested.
I mean, it's sort of like we've been contacted before, and I apologise if any of you hadn't. Did you get back to Lisa when she asked us about doing a collaboration thing or not? I think that was when we were still quite new, and we weren't really sure what
would we collaborate with.
Precisely. And hands up,
She's had a lot of bits anyway.
That's right, and she's going through a hell of a lot
at the moment. So yeah.
So it's really difficult, but guys, we love you. We love to hear from you.
And I got a bit from Angela as well, because she was saying about the allergy bits. She was allergic to nickel, so she has to be careful with jewellery and belts and bits. It said she also may be allergic to copper. Now, you may have heard on bits like that. I used to do electroplating just over 20 years ago. Back then, we weren't allowed to use nickel.
No.
In jewellery.
In England,
plating
you're
jewellery,
not allowed
to. But as you're saying, allergic to copper, the bit you may find is because the base bit they use to electroplate first is copper.
So rather than it being nickel, you're probably right in saying that it is a copper allergy.
We use two copper platings, a matte copper plating and a shiny copper plating. You do 2 lots of them. Then they would either be plated in gold or silver or platinum.
These were ones that got sold marks. But
they just get sold marks and Spencers and different ones. We did
which is English.
We did bits for Sultan of Brunei for Christmas crackers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying
So you may find it's the copper that's actually affecting you if you're allergic to copper.
Yeah, because I mean,
or obviously, if you buy stuff from China, it can have absolutely bloody anything in it.
That's right. This is why I've never, although I love AliExpress and I love the fact that you get quite a lot of comeback if there's problems, I don't order makeup or creams and things like that because they don't have the same strict rules and guidelines that
Claire's Accessory found that out a few years ago, didn't they?
Yes, they did, yes.
Because it turned out that they bought their makeup from China and it had cyanide in it. Always good. Right, so that's all those bits done. Last bit, we got...
It's going to be a long one today.
Yeah, the Tarot and Oracle cards.
Yep.
We did the one for the House of the Night ones. House of Night, even. Everyone loved the number 50.
Yeah, including
the black
me.
One, as the black cat one on it, along with some other ones as well. We also asked what everyone's favourite tarot cards are. Elizabeth Stone got her favourite ones. She uses a Universal Celtic Tarot. And she's also got Steampunk Tarot and Witchy's Wisdom Oracle deck. The Steampunk Tarot sounds quite interesting.
Yes, I've seen some, but it didn't show me many pictures.
Yeah. We've got Angela, her favourites are Witch's Tarot. We've got Witch's Tarot somewhere. And Dragon Oracle deck.
Ooh, like dragons as well.
And she asked, for the House of Night one, would it help to have read the series to use the deck, or could you use it as a standalone? Now, I know from when I put it on there that you ask, it says on the thing that you ask the goddess vampire Nyx for guidance in the bits.
Right, you can use it as standalone, but I would advise you to at least read the first book. Mind you, if you read the first book, I challenge anybody to be able to put it down after that, really. Hello.
He's a mishmash. Hi, fans. How is everybody?
You're going to wave?
Oh, there was a wave. There was a wave. There was a wave. Very cute. You're going to melt Lolly Wayne's heart there. Yeah. And Elizabeth. She loves it well.
She's having limpet moments these days because where the hit. Bear in mind, they come out every day, usually more than once, to be honest.
Yeah.
They come out when they want to come out. They get cuddled when they want to get cuddled. They get to run round the bed and do free play when they want to do that. Yeah. So essentially, we live our lives around them, which is how it should be. They're our children. Yeah, I know you're agreeing. But because there were a couple of days where it was so hot, she didn't really get cuddles because, she was not coping well with the heat. Neither of my Russians like heat. No.
No, those used to have been cold.
Yeah, they like
Russian,
cold, and
yeah.
she actually has trained me.
They've got thick fur.
Yeah, she trains me when she wants the fan on. Because she'll go to that side of the cage, look at the fan, look at me, make sure I'm watching, and then bash her feet on, or bash her hands, paws, on the cage bars until I turn on the fan. So she's got me well trained. But no, because she didn't get like proper cuddles, because, you know, we have proper cuddles every day, don't we? She's been limping quite a lot, haven't you? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she will only go over to Darren for a short amount of time. She'll only go over to Nanny as long as I'm standing close by or sitting close by.
Yeah.
She's just the only person actually that she'll go to and I can move away from her is my mum. Now, whether or not it's because obviously they've got a better sense of smell, so my mum and me must smell similar. That she's happy to do that. Yeah, I know. Where are you going now? But yeah, she's absolutely nuts, aren't you? You crazy girl.
Crazy girl.
But no, I mean, she's been sat with me for absolutely ages. Mishka. Mishka. Mamishka. Mishka. Come hither. Right, you've made yourself all wet on the side of the Coke can. But yeah, I mean, essentially, she's a limpet, aren't you? Hey? Not as much as Eva. I mean, I'm quite pleased that we got rid of the slipper that Eva would spend most of her time in if she wasn't on me. But yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I've got a bit of paper plate in her cage, and the reason that's there is so when she wants some dinner, she'll waggle it at me. So yeah, they're pretty intelligent hamsters. I mean, Syrians, boys, can be quite thick as a rule, but the Russians are incredibly intuitive. But the only thing I would say is only get a Russian hamster if you've got time for them, because they want love. They are like babies. Yeah. But yeah, so you got to see the little precious girlie. Right, guys. Anyway, gone on a bit, so you know you can't complain. We definitely had a chat this week. Yeah. And yeah, we will see you soon. Keep those questions coming. Yeah. Any new bits and pieces? What's going on? Whether you've got bits you want advertised and bits like, I'm not talking about your wheelbarrow. I'm not going to sell, you know, Lollyween's selling her wheelbarrow because she ain't got such a big pumpkin to move around this year for $10 or £10. Sorry. £10, yeah. What? $10? They're not American. Neither's Lollyween. Yeah. Never mind. But yeah, not that sort of thing, obviously. But yeah, let us know. Anyway, guys, see you soon and be different. Have a good one. Bye. Bye.